Good morning, children. Okay, children, today I am going to take social for 9th class. Lesson number 18, Democracy and Evolving Idea. Textbook page number 229, children. Open your textbook. Page number 229. Okay, yes, you read about the beginning of democratic government in England, USA, France in the 17th and 18th centuries, as well as the most recent movements for democracy in Libya and Myanmar. The evolution of democracy has had many ups and downs. So the evolution of this democracy, they have many ups and downs. Popular rule was established and then overthrown and monarchies established. So there was a popular rules which was established. Then after that what happened? They have removed the rules and they have started this, overthrown this on the monarchies established. Even where popular ruler was established, it meant only the participation of a few people in electing the rules. So even there is a popular rules for popular rules were established, but even though it is meant for the participation of the few people in electing the rules. Slowly the meaning of democracy broadened and it developed many new layers and shades. At the same time, it has also raised many questions which are not easy to answer. Let us consider some of these questions, discuss the questions in the classroom as well as with your friends and relatives. So the first one is democracy means responsible government. Okay, democracy means a system in which those in government get their authority from the people and to answer and have to answer to the people. So what do you mean by democracy system, children? It means the system which government gets the authority from the people, have to answer to the people. The government, whatever the public, whatever the people ask, the government should give the answer for them. This usually happens through the process of leaders being elected by people at definite intervals. So this, how it will happen? So there will be a leaders. The leaders will be elected through the leaders. The people can ask whatever the questions they have. Through the leaders only the answers will be given. You saw in the case of Libya that ultimate power lay with the Revolutionary Command Council, that is RCC, which was self-appointed and not elected by the people or born by what the people's representatives ordered. So they were elected assemblies in Libya, but they could not take independent decisions and had to implement the orders given by the RCC. The RCC was not answerable to anyone except itself. So the RCC, that is Revolutionary Command Council, does not have any right to give any answer except itself. In a democratic country, the power of the elected representatives would be supreme and no one who is not directly elected by the people can exercise any authority over them. The elected government functionaries are answerable to the people in different ways. First of all, there would be elected assemblies in which the government functionaries would be asked to explain their work, get the plan of work. Secondly, any citizen would have approved a right to demand information about any work done by the government and the government has to disclose such information. Okay, moreover, after a definite period, elections would be held again and the functionaries will have to seek fresh elections from the people. The people can ask them to explain their work and reject them if they are not satisfied with the work. So moreover, the definite period of elections would be held against the functionaries which the election for elections from the people can ask them to explain their work, or they can reject them if they are not satisfied with the work. So democracy is based on equality and inclusiveness. When we say rule of the people, we mean all people who are adults. So when we talk about the rule of the people, it is that only adults can participate in this. Whether they are men or women, rich or poor, black or white, whether they are men or women, or rich or poor, or black or white, but adults only can be participate. Hindus or Christians or Muslims or atheists. So whether they speak one language or the other, democracy took a long time to establish itself. So let us take the right to vote in elections as an indicator. Initially, only a few proprietor men could participate in the process of voting. Slowly, the right was extended in some countries to even the poor man, then to the women, and eventually to the people of all races and religions. So starting, it was only the men who had participated in voting. So participated in the votings, and afterwards slowly women also have come forward to vote, and after that all the people, whether they are rich or poor, whatever the caste might be, whatever the religion might be, but everyone started voting. USA allowed the white women to vote only around 1920. So USA have allowed only white women only in the year 1920. The discrimination against black citizens was removed only in 1965. So there was a discrimination with the black people, and that was abolished in the year 1965. The first nation to allow voting rights for all groups of people was New Zealand in 1893. In New Zealand, women and black people went through great struggles to achieve this. So in New Zealand, women and black people, they struggled a lot for this achievement. The first large country to give universal voting rights to its citizens was USSR after the Russian Revolution in 1917. Yet even to this day, many countries make laws which discriminate against some communities. So even today also in some countries there are some laws which discriminate against some communities. So Estonia has made its citizenship rules in such a way that people belonging to Russian minority find it difficult to get the right to vote. So in Fiji, the electoral system is such that the vote of an indigenous Fiji has more value than that of an Indian Fijian. It was from the year 2013 elections that an equal right to vote is being implemented. So democracy is based on the fundamental principles of political equality and inclusiveness. In a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote, and each vote must have one value. So in a democracy, each citizen has one vote, and that one vote is the value of only one. Our constitution provides universal franchise to all the citizens above 21 years of age. So democracy requires active participation of citizens. Often democracy is taken to mean only voting in elections and choosing the rules. However, democracy also means that citizens should participate in the making of policies and laws by the government and implementing them. So it is the citizen who has to implement the laws. How can this be done? This is possible when all policies and laws are made after extensive public discussions in which people participate and openly express their needs and views. So when it will be possible to do this? When the public is also involved in the discussions and public also can express their views, then only this can be implemented. It also requires that people involved in effective implementation of the policies and laws by forming independent citizens committees. This kind of participation of people is not easily achieved. In many countries, even the elected governments do not encourage public participation. The people also do not show active interest in public affairs and remain apathetic. For example, in the much publicized elections for the President of USA in 2012, more than 40% people did not vote at all. So democracy requires civil liberties. People can participate in decision making only if they are free to know, discuss, form independent opinions and express them, and form association to press for their views. So when people can participate in discussions, when they know everything about the democracy. These are also called civil liberties. However, these rights were not gained by people easily. Government sought to control free speech, free association and the right of people to know about public affairs. Most government decisions were kept secret from people. The newspapers and books were censored and views that went against the government were not allowed to be published. People were not allowed to form political parties or trade unions or organizations of their choice, but only one party or officially sponsored parties were allowed to function. Many of these rights, for example, were not available to the people of the USSR, even though there was universal right to vote and periodic elections. That is why they had to put up with one-party rule for nearly 60 years. Even today, these rights are not available to people in all countries. Restrictions on civil liberties helps government to remain in power. So democracy requires equality. We noted earlier that democracy requires political equality, that each person will have one vote. So democracy needs equality, which is that each person will have only one vote. However, for this political equality to be really effective, it also requires equality of social and economic status. If the society is divided into highly unequal classes of rich and poor, or high caste or low caste, then the political equality will become meaningless. So there should not be any discrimination like he is a poor or he is rich, he is white or he is black or he is Hindu or he is Muslim. So if at all, if this differences is there, then there is no meaning for this democracy. So there should not be any discrimination among the people. Those with higher status and wealth can easily force and rest to vote according to their choice. In a large number of families, the male heads of family decide for whom everyone in the family, including women, should vote for. So in some families, it will be like that. The head of the family will decide that head of the family will decide that the family members, complete the woman or whoever it is, whatever the head of the family will sell to whichever party they must vote, the family will follow, including women and the others who are eligible for voting. In many countries like the USA, most of the media is owned by very rich corporate houses or media barons. They effectively manipulate and influence public opinion by what they highlighted and what they block out. So in the countries like in USA, the media is very cooperative houses that whatever the public views, they will record in that media. If the view is valuable and if it is considered to their party and if it is in positive way, they will telecast it. If anything is there which they does not like, they block that news. The rich and powerful also have immediate access to members of the legislature and ministers and are in a position to influence their policies and programs. On the other hand, the poor and illiterate people have no such access to the government circles. So on the other hand, the poor people and the illiterate people doesn't have any access. Thus, the government of many of these countries follow policies which seem to be contradictory to the interest of the poor and in favor of the rich. Thus, it can be said that true democracy cannot be attained unless there is social and economic equality along with political equality. So, democracy requires free and fair elections. If people of a country have to really choose the best person or parties to represent them in the government, then it is very important that free and fair elections take place. If people want a good person to be elected to the country and the good person, a correct person should lead the country, means there should be a free and fair elections should be conducted. That is elections in which any party or individual can compete and no party has any special advantage. So in the elections that any party can be the candidate. In many countries like USSR, Myanmar or Libya, only one or two parties were allowed to compete. So in the countries like Libya, Myanmar and all, only few people were allowed to compete in the elections. As such, people had no choice but to vote for them. So even in other countries, parties in power use government machinery to persuade or force people to vote for them. They also manipulate the election process in such a way as to reject the candidature of opposition candidates. So or remove the names of the supporters of the opposition from electoral roll. So there will be so much of manipulations while elections are going on. Like for example, in the elections, elections of the machine, they remove some of the opposition parties' symbol, name, everything. So such manipulations will be done. So elections must offer a real choice between political alternatives, and it should be possible for people to use this choice to remove the existing rules if they wish to. If we wish to access a democracy, it is important to look at the elections, but it is equally important to look before and after the elections. Okay, now it's the time for you all to write the classwork, children. So you will have to read the lesson first. Complete lesson you will have to read, and you will have to attempt first and second question answer. That is, let us see what is the first and second question answer. Yes, the first one is, how does democracy produce an accountable, responsive and legitimate government? So, democracy is a political system in which all the members of the society have an equal share of formal political power. So, democracy produces an accountable, responsive and legitimate government. So, accountable. Democracy produces a government which is accountable to all the people. It is the basic outcome of democracy. It will produce a government which responds to people. So, responsive. Democracy produces a government which responds to all the demands and needs of different people. Legitimate, that is, in democracy, elections are conducted through which people select their representatives. If they do not react for their demands, they choose another representative in the next elections. And the next question is like, what are the conditions under which democracies accommodate social diversity. Democracy is based on equality and inclusiveness. Democracy requires active participation of all citizens. At the same time, democracy requires respect for minority opinion. Under all these aspects, various social diversities are accommodated in democracy. So these two answers you will have to write in your classwork book, children. First, read the lesson. Once, twice, thrice also you can read the lesson and write these answers by your own. So if not possible, then you can refer the workbook, children. So you must write these two question answers and then take the photo and send it to the school mail ID. So we will continue this lesson in the next session. Till then, take care, children.